Did you know that you could build credit history by just paying your rent? Yeah, you heard me. Your rent. Not your mortgage, your rent.
In this video, we're going to tell you how you can build your credit by paying your rent and why you should consider it.
Oh yeah. Back when Alex and I were little babies, we weren't able to build our credit off of just paying rent.
Nope.
No, not at all. You know, you had to have a credit card or a car payment or some type of loan, a mortgage to be able to build your credit history. And you couldn't even build your credit history or get a car loan or a mortgage unless you had a credit card. That type of stuff. Life was hard back then. It's crazy. We had wagons and wooden wheels. It's ridiculous.
Now, man, that was the Oregon Trail game that we played back in elementary school. I don't think it was quite that hard.
Yeah. Whatever. Same thing.
Yeah. Moving on. You got all these different ways you can build credit now, right? So you can be an authorized user on your parents' credit cards. You can get secured credit cards. You can get credit builder loans. You can get auto loans. And now you can even add your rent and utilities to your credit report.
Kids these days have it easy. Alex and Phillip, I'm offended. Our parents are Maine and college tuition is expensive. Well, don't go. Or don't go full time. Go to community college. Duh.
Dude, you're going to anger all the Karens out there. You're so mad at what you just said.
Did I just hear somebody unsubscribe?
Anyways, back on track.
Right. So, being able to build your credit at an early age is just amazing, right? I mean, especially if you can get credit history for doing something you're already doing.
You're going to want to have good credit anyways, because if you want to go get a car, you're going to have a decent interest rate if you have good credit. It'll allow you to get a house when you're younger, or even get into an apartment that you want to have, right? Because they're pretty competitive these days, and based on your credit. Or if you want to get your dream job, a lot of times you're going to do a background check or a credit check, so it could prohibit you if you don't have good credit.
Typically, people that don't have a lot of credit history do have history of paying their rent on time. So why not get credit for it?
Unfortunately, you can't just go and report your own rent payments to the credit bureaus, but thankfully there's rent reporting agencies that will do it on your behalf. 45 million people in the U.S. don't have any credit. So if you fall into that category and you're paying your rent already and your utilities, using these agencies can help you actually build credit, and that way you're not relying on mom and dad to pay all your bills or co-sign for everything, and you can be a real adult.
You know, they say you can get, you're a real adult when you can get a car on your own. Yeah. If you're trying to get your credit set up at an early age, I mean, these services are definitely something you should be looking at. This isn't free, but if you're trying to establish your credit history early on, I mean, most of these services are going to cost about $100 a month. If you ask me, that's not a horrible amount of money to be able to get credit for something that you're already doing. If your rent is reported to the 3 major credit bureaus like Equifax, TransUnion, and what's the last one? Experian. Then you're going to get credit for them. So why not get credit if you're already doing it?
All right, so the newer versions of FICO and Vantage Score are going to take rent payments into consideration, but not everybody's up to date and actually using those yet. So if you're going to pay for these rent reporting services on your own, you can do that. Or the other way is hopefully you have a good landlord and they report your rent payments, but I wouldn't bank on that. So we're going to break down some of the other companies that you can actually use. There's more to it, or there's more out there than the ones that we're going to list off, but we're going to go over the top 4 that we found and then give you the best breakdown of those ones.
Yeah, like I'm a landlord and I don't report people's paying rents because I didn't know we were supposed to until we just were doing this video.
Yeah, I mean, most people have never even heard of it. Okay, so the first one is rent reporters. They're going to report to 2 out of the 3 credit bureaus, so they're pretty good. They're not the best. They're $95 a year, so not super expensive, but they're not cheap either. They're going to go back and they're going to report your last 2 years of payment history. So they're going to actually talk to your landlord and hopefully you've been making your payments on time, right? Nothing that's 30 days or later. But if you haven't, probably not going to be the best one to go and use, because if you haven't been making your payments on time, why would you want to include that?
Right. That's going to make your credit go down. We're trying to get it to go up. Okay. Up. Next up, all right, level credit, formerly known as Rent Track. Okay. These people are going to report to all 3 credit bureaus. All right. All of them. and they're going to include your rent and your utilities. All right, which is awesome because you're just getting more history added to your credit, which is important. Okay. Now, this is going to cost you about $6.95 a month or $83 a year, and they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Okay, BBB is a thing. Next up, Credit Rent Boost. These are going to be the cheapest guys out of the bunch. You're going to be paying, what, $3 a month, maybe a little bit under, but they only report to 2 out of the 3 credit bureaus. Good thing, though, they do go back for the last 2 years on your rental history. That's good. They also have an A+ BBB rating.
Okay, so the last one is going to be Extra Credit. So they're going to report your rent and utilities for the last 2 years. They're going to report all your ongoing payments, but they are by far the most expensive one you can use. They come in at about $25 a month or $300 for the year. So that's a massive difference. And if you're, trying to get by as cheaply as you can because you just moved out and you don't have any credit or you're working a minimum wage job, $25 compared to $3 is a big difference. So, and they're not really upfront with that one either. They kind of hide the price. So I had to do some digging to find it out. And with the Better Business Bureau, they don't even have a rating for them. So I don't know if I would use them. But the only reason I'm bringing them up is because they're one of the main options.
Like we were saying, some of these companies might even report your utility bills, which would include your cell phone bill if you have a cell phone in your name. If you don't, you should probably get it in your name. But when you're signing up for these services, you're going to need your address, when you moved in, your landlord's name, and your landlord's phone number. And it's probably a good idea to give your landlord a heads up, like, hey, these people are going to call you to, ask if I've been paying you rent or not. Okay? Because you don't want them getting blindsided. They might screen the call and not answer it or something. So I want to give them a heads up. In addition to checking to see which credit bureaus these companies report to, you also want to make sure that your information that you give to them is protected. You don't want these people out there selling your information to third-party people and getting prank calls from all these people all the time asking you if your car warranty is still good. So you want to make sure that your information is going to be protected and they're not going to be selling it. So check the reviews and check in the terms and agreements to make sure your stuff isn't getting passed around.
And before you go and sign up for any of these companies, probably want to check with your landlord or your apartment complex manager to see if they're actually reporting your rent payments. I mean, probably not, but it's worth asking before you just go and sign up for one of these service providers.
Yeah, because they might actually, and then
maybe
you're over there paying for something twice when they're already doing it.
All right, so for the people that are using these services, they saw an average of like 15, upwards of 50 points of an improvement on their credit score, and on average, the people who are new to credit or they didn't have the best credit, they were around like a 620-ish range, saw the biggest improvement. So before you go and just sign up for these rent reporting agencies, a good idea too is just talk with your landlord and make sure that they're okay with even reporting your renting. I mean, it'd be a super dick move if they didn't, but some landlords are just jerks. So you might want to have that conversation before you go and pay for it too.
Yeah. Well, kids, there you have it. If you're trying to get your credit built, or if you're trying to repair your damaged credit, having your credit history reported to these credit bureaus might be the way to go. So don't wait and get up on it.
By the way, if you're interested in actually building your credit, you should either get on your parents' card as an authorized user, open up a secured credit card, or look into a credit builder loan. And we got other videos on that stuff too.
Yeah, we got a whole playlist, okay? So check it out in the description below and watch our credit building playlist so you can get your credit built. In the comments below, let us know if this video helped you out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and he's going to tell you something awesome right now.
Can't wait to see you next time.
Can't wait to see you next time.
What is it supposed to be?